I am intentional, I am the sun, I am original, I am the one. I have a purpose for my existence. I will not stop till I reach my mission. I have ambition, I am consistent. People don't cross me without my permission. My journey isn't no competition. I am grateful for all I've been given. I am unique, I am complete. I am everything that I wish to see. I can create my own reality. I am the best me that I can be. I am manifestation. I am present and patient. I am confident. I am opulent. I am destined for greatness.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Sheena D, aka Indigo Ayora, and this is Straight Outta Kemet. Founded in 2019, it was birthed underneath my publishing company, I in the Middle Publishing LLC, where the mission is raising frequencies one book at a time. Straight Outta Kemet features greatness from our own melanated community of entrepreneurs, entertainers, authors, and social influencers. Its mission is lifting up our people one broadcast at a time. Straight Out of Kemet has been rebirthed and will continue in the legacy of uplifting our people by utilizing its platform to promote their greatness. We are available on all listening platforms. Peace and blessings to you all. Peace, blessings, and abundance. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today on this wonderful Wednesday evening. We have another very, very special guest straight from out of Washington, D.C. Y'all, this brother is just so brotherly. You know, he just has that brotherly type energy. He genuinely cares for the well-being of others. Anytime I call him up, I don't care whatever it's for, he always can produce results or even just give a helping hand, words of wisdom within any situation. I appreciate this brother so much for coming on to the show. I met him, I forgot what year it was, but we were doing Judge Me Not, a monologue production show, and he was the drummer, and he showed up and showed out. Okay, without him, the show would not have pieced together so beautifully. So I am so thankful to have him on the show tonight. Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, if you need to find out more information about holistic needs, you have inquiries and questions, this is definitely the episode that you want to tune into tonight. Without further ado, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and hop straight on into the episode. I love y'all. Peace. Dr. Yew, Bellomee, is a certified holistic health consultant, herbalist, wellness advocate, educator, and musical artist. He has been featured in numerous radio programs, natural hair and health and beauty expos, magazine articles, and community and school programs as a speaker and workshop facilitator on holistic wellness and herbal medicine. He is also the founder of Yew-360 Wholistic Health and Wellness, LLC, and a member of African Wholistic Health Association, AWHA, and the Collective Health Intuitive, CHI, in Washington, D.C. We have the one and only Dr. Yew in the building. How are you doing today? How are you feeling?
I'm doing well, Sister Indigo. How are you?
All is well, all is abundant. You know, I'm still here breathing. That means my purpose is not yet fulfilled.
It's a beautiful thing.
Indeed. So usually, the way I like to start off this interview is to do an icebreaker, you know, just to give the audience a little insight about who you are outside of what it is that you know, all the greatness outside of the rest of the greatness that you have. So one of the first questions I would love to know is, what is one thing that you would love to do that you have never done before you transition from this planet?
There's a lot, but one of the things, I guess, more traveling. You know, I definitely want to visit some of the places that share my name. My first name is Yuma, so I would love to check out like Yuma, Arizona, Yuma, Colorado, just to say I visited those places. And also to kind of see the people that are there and feel the energy of those environments, you know?
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. I love it. And what is one of your favorite quotes?
The wrong concept always leads to the wrong conclusion. That's a quote from Dr. Kamal Kimball.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And that's very deep. Now I can't remember how exactly I met you. Like I'm trying to remember. I know I met you at Hands on Drums.
Mhm.
But I don't remember why I came there.
You had come there because you were putting on your play at that point in time, and you were looking for
Right.
a drummer for your play,
Okay,
a
okay,
drummer
that's
and a
right.
dancer. Yes.
Yeah, because I was sort of, I was like, how did we meet again? I couldn't remember, but okay, yeah, that's absolutely, absolutely correct. So I've seen on Facebook, and I actually want to be able to come out with you all sometimes. I've seen that you do like nature walks, you know, for the community, where you
Mhm.
all go out and look for like different types of herbs. Like that seems really, really amazing and really fun. And I definitely want to make sure that I make it out there. So what like got you started in being interested in herbs?
What got me started in being interested in herbs was initially my interest in health. From a very young age, I had the privilege of being introduced to different health concepts. So one of the things that I always credit primarily for my awakening, so to speak, was my grandmother when I was maybe about 4 years old, somewhere around then, 3, 4 years old. My grandmother, who I was living with at the time, uh, was cooking in the kitchen, and she was cutting up some carrots, and she handed me a piece of carrot. She said, "Eat this carrot, it's good for your eyes." And I remember just that kind of switching on the light bulb
Mm,
where I recognize, oh wow, there's a connection between the food that I'm eating and my health, or how I'm feeling, or how my body functions and works. And down the line, my mother was very instrumental. My biological father was very instrumental as well in expanding my health concept, my health knowledge. My mother, who I lived with for my entire childhood, of course. Uh, Once she separated out of our grandparents' home, she made it a point to make sure that we didn't eat pork inside of her home. And she also made it a point to educate us on why we weren't eating pork,
mm.
because pork could be harmful for your heart, can give you worms potentially and things of that nature. So little basic trinkets like that. My cousin, my mother's first cousin, is a dental hygienist by trade.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was a nurse by trade. And, so these, different health professions were also inside of my family. My mother's other first cousin also is a mental health professional. So down the line, uh, my grandmother actually gave me my first experience with herbs as I had a bee sting, and she
Mm.
used to smoke cigarettes. And long story short, she wound up making what I now know to be an herbal poultice, or compress, depending on what you want to, no, poultice. She made a poultice with the tobacco out of a cigarette and applied it to the bee sting on my chest, and the pain went away in about 30 seconds flat.
Wow.
So, it took something that I really hated coming up, which is cigarettes, and gave me a whole new perspective on it. And I got the opportunity fresh out of high school to work for an herbalist. And my father actually was the one who introduced me to the herbalist I would wind up working for. And in that experience of working for that herbalist, shout out to Dr. Hassan Abdul Hakim, Dr. Mabahashimi, working for and with the both of them really gave me more context, because then it became, wow, I didn't know that these plants, whether they're in dried form, fresh form, or what have you, could actually help people to overcome chronic health conditions, chronic health ailments that our community is suffering with, our families are suffering with every day. And they're told that there's nothing that you can do about it except for stay on these drugs the rest of your life, get this surgery, get this radiation, chemotherapy, things of that nature, you know, which never really fixes and corrects the problem, but it actually just suppresses the symptoms that you may be experiencing at the time. And it makes you more dependent upon it, because they never really give you the protocol or the answers to actually reverse the issue at hand and bring yourself back into a state of balance. So once that was explained to me, and I actually got to witness people going through, listening to the advice that the herbalist I mentioned gave, the products, the herbs that they would recommend for them to use, coming back and saying, wow, I used to have fibroids, I don't have it anymore, they can't detect it. I used to have asthma, my children used to have asthma, they don't have it anymore because I followed this advice. And they just would, you know, continue to come back. And there were so many cases where, you know, their praises would be sung. Their praises would be sung based on the positive results that they were getting through, you know, just the simple lifestyle changes and utilizing herbs, you know, medicinally, therapeutically, or even on a maintenance level. So it really opened my eyes, and it made me like, this is what I want to do. I just felt a natural affinity towards it. And, you know, eventually just started retaining a lot of what I was seeing and learning. And that gave me my start.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, one thing I'll mention in addition to that is that I found out later on down the line that I actually had people in my family lineage on both sides who were involved with herbal medicine, you know, who were known for that. So one of the things that I've come across in my journey and communicating with other herbalists is that that's a common story, is that there's like a lineage or ancestral line of people who that's what they do, you know?
Okay. Yes, indeed. I love it. I love that it's within the bloodline, within the family. Do you feel like a person can grow herbs like at home themselves, and would it be conducive? Like, would it have the same effectiveness as it would if they got herbs from, you know, out in nature?
Absolutely. Yeah, people can definitely grow their own herbs. Many people do. What I'm not an expert on growing personally, but what I will say in terms of my knowledge base is that herbs grow based on the conditions that's present. So if the right conditions are present, it doesn't matter if it's in the wild or it's a condition that you created, then the herb can thrive in that condition if the condition is right for that particular herb to thrive. You know, so if you create the right environment, the right energy, the right conditions, absolutely you can utilize herbs that you grow yourself. They can be just as effective, you know, as it would be in the wild, potentially. Some people would arguably say more effective, dependent, you know.
Okay, that's good to know because I've seen people like grow herbs, not like the major ones, you know what I mean? But I guess you could say the smaller ones, the ones that they like usually use in their food, like parsley and things like that. I've seen them grow it within their house in their window. And I always wonder, like, is it still the same because it's not in, you know what I mean? It's not in the soil. It's not coming directly from mama, but I guess it is in a sense.
Yeah, and you know, nowadays they have nutrient packets and things like that that you can add to the soil, or you know, if you're more into the organic side of things, you can create your own compost and turn the soil over the same kind of way. So that way you're getting the same microorganisms and the same nutrients and things like that that the plant needs to grow and thrive and contain uh, the same phytochemicals and phytonutrients that the plant is supposed to contain. So all of that has to do with the soil quality and the right conditions.
Okay. So I remember a little earlier you mentioned is your grandmother who told you about not eating pork? Or was that your
My
mother?
mother,
Okay,
my
excuse
mother.
me. Your
Mhm.
your mother told you about not eating pork. So are you you're fully vegetarian? I mean, or vegan or plant-based?
Yes, pretty much. I've been plant-based since 2005.
Okay.
Haven't had fish here and there. What I will do is honey therapeutically,
Mhm.
more so than anything, not really like a regular part of what I eat, but here and there I'll do honey therapeutically, or here and there I've had, you know, probably something like I travel somewhere and somebody's cooking something in the same oil that they cook something else in, you know what I mean? That type of
Mhm.
thing like that. It's not my preference, but it's something that I'm not so, you know, what's the word? I'm not so straight down the line. It has to be this, it has
Gotcha.
to be perfect that I
Mhm.
don't make those tolerances sometimes, but sometimes I do pay for it in terms of how my body feels because I don't really eat that stuff, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I do my best to stay a certain line in terms of what I eat, to promote my overall health and well-being. And so more often than not, I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't eat a lot of, um, you know, I go on and off with the cooked oils, but that's another thing that I know can be very detrimental to a lot of people's health.
Mhm.
Cooked oils. I definitely don't use the animal fats in my own food preparation, things of that nature. I don't use any dairy products at all. So yeah, generally speaking, I have a certain line that I like to stay with in terms of what my own personal food choices are. And especially in terms of what I recommend with people who are going through health challenges.
Now, how do you okay, so I was a vegan for 2.5 years. I know I Dr. Yew, I have to get back. I've been having a lot of things go on in my life. I would say that kind of like swayed me a little bit. Like my brother-in-law passed away at 46 years old, and I just couldn't believe it. Like I was like, what? And he had just started fasting and he was like eating healthier and everything. So when that happened, it kind of it's like everything I learned kind of I was just like it got shattered. You know what I mean? But I do definitely plan on getting back on a straight and narrow because I know that it works better for me. Now, how do you feel about pregnant women like being vegan?
Yeah, you know, health is a funny thing because there's no cookie cutter approach. But at the same time, in terms of the overall scope of things, there's no real harm of being vegan when you're pregnant. The major thing that's important, just in general, when we talk about vegan and plant-based versus, uh, you know, being an omnivore, so to speak, is about the nutrition that you get. And most of the things that are associated negatively with being plant-based in terms of your eating habits is associated with not getting the proper nutrients, not getting the proper nutrition. So some people feel like, okay, I can be vegan, but I can eat vegan burgers and French fries all day, and I'll be healthy. And that's not the truth. You know, some people feel like, okay, I can eat apples all day and I'll be healthy because it's a fruit. But in reality, nutrition is about balance. So it's finding the right combination of foods and things like that that your body is able to digest, tolerate well, extract the nutrients from, without it causing a bunch of buildup and inflammation and so on and so forth. And making sure that you're getting the variety of all of the different nutrients that the body needs to function and to be healthy. So if you're eating, let's say, you know, okay, I'm going to eat apples, bananas, oranges, grapes, watermelon, etc. That's cool. You're going to get a certain spectrum of nutrients from those particular fruits. But then there's also going to be some nutrients that you're going to be missing that might be found in your green leafy vegetables. You might eat green leafy vegetables, but don't eat fruit. You're going to have some nutrients that might be missing from that. If you eat green leafy vegetables and fruits, but you don't have your protein, you're going to have issues down the line. So it's all of these different things. It's about making sure that you're having a variety, making sure that you're utilizing whole foods as opposed to, say, something like a white rice, you know, white bread, where a lot of the nutritional content that would be in those things have been removed in the process. And so now you're getting something that's more like a filler, but it's not really giving your body the nutrients that it needs to run off of. And your body utilizes nutrients all the time for every process. So the processes have to continue to go on whether you're giving your body that or not until you transition from this physical form. So if the processes still have to go on, but you're not giving your body the ammunition that it needs to continue that process, then it's like after a while, those processes are going to slow down or they may stop. You know, so in terms of being pregnant, you know, your body needs more nutrition because you're not only supporting yourself, but you're also supporting the child that you're holding. So in that interim of things, a lot of times people don't take that into account in their eating habits, you know, so they might have even cravings for certain things that may not be the healthiest of things or what have you. You know, but it might be something inside of that the body needs. That's why a lot of people now, they recommend for pregnant women to take prenatal vitamins, you know, in addition to whatever it is they're doing, because that will help to make sure that the nutrient stores are up to par. But it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with being plant-based or not being plant-based. It just depends on what the body needs at that point in time.
Yeah, I definitely think that I know when I was pregnant with my son, I was completely vegan. And I definitely think that I didn't have all of the education that I have now when it comes to the nutrient side. I feel like, you know, that could have been a reason why I had him a little bit early, 7 weeks early. Because I probably wasn't feeding myself enough, and I was really, really small, you know, when I was pregnant with him as well. So that was one of the reasons why I asked you the question. Just I wanted to get that insight. So thank you for sharing that information. Do you feel like a person who's on the American diet can relatively just stay on the American diet and take the herbs and still heal themselves from any elements that they might have going on?
I mean, It's a complex question because it depends on what's happening and the severity of what's happening. There's a theoretical standpoint to it, and then there's the practical standpoint to it. So theoretically, I would say no. If it's like a chronic, when I say chronic, I mean something that's like a long-term condition. You know, something that's like diabetes, or high blood pressure, cancer, you know, things like that. I would say not really from a theoretical standpoint, and that's because theoretically, when we're talking about holistic health and the approach of holistic health, it encompasses the spirit, the mind, the body, and the environment. And so real healing involves addressing all of those components. So if you're just utilizing the herbs, and this is something that's not just from a theoretical standpoint, but often what I see is that people will just use herbs the same way they use pharmaceutical drugs, let's say. And they may be able to curtail, reduce the symptoms that they're experiencing, but that doesn't necessarily translate into full healing. So sometimes they may even quiet stuff down enough for the body to recover and appear to be normal, but then the condition comes back after a period of time because they haven't addressed everything that they need to address. So that's what I've seen in my own personal experience with a lot of different people with a lot of different conditions. So that's where my no would come from. But if it's something we're talking about, like, you know, the flu or common cold or something like that, then of course, because the immune system is very complex, and you know, herbs in a nutshell are more like support than an actual fix. You know what I mean? Now, with the proper support, your body can do the work to fix itself from things that are going on. But it's all about making sure that you have the right support for the condition at hand. So that's why my answer was what it was. I hope that brought some clarity to it.
Yes, yes, definitely, indeed, indeed. So can you share with us, like, how often do you do the nature walks? And you have a next. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Usually I do them through the spring and summer seasons. Once a month, sometimes once, maybe twice a month, maybe once every other month. It kind of depends on what my schedule is and what I have going on. Or if somebody reaches out and they ask me to do it for a particular time frame or event, or, you know, things of that nature. But generally speaking, about once to twice a month during the spring and summer seasons, or once every other month, something like that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we have about 9 minutes. You know, we're doing this on Zoom, so it might cut off. We gotta,
Okay.
you know, and get through it. But can you please share with everyone, like, how they can find you, find out any information, and, you know, just how they find out even about the nature walks and things of that nature?
Well, my phone number directly is 202-469-0264. You can call or text me at that phone number. Text is usually better, but either or is fine. Again, 202-469-0264. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn, even though I use them a little less, at Docta Yew, DOCTAYEW, on pretty much all platforms, all of those platforms that I mentioned anyway. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And my website, I almost forgot, Yew360.com, Yew360.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Yew, for coming on, giving us all this nice, wonderful knowledge. I know that whoever is listening will definitely be able to take away a lot of information from this. So thank you. And thank you for your service of what you do for the community. You are definitely appreciated.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I knew I had to reach out to you because I know you're the truth. I could, I've always respected you and your wife, like your energy, just energy that you all carry. It's something definitely that's intriguing, and I would love to be able to be around you all more. You know what I mean? Just to have that spiritual brothers, sisters connection. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because I feel like I'm still trying to find my soul tribe right now. You know how people say that, like their soul tribe, like, or their soul family. Yeah.
My phone line is always open. You know that anytime you hit me up, I'll answer the call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on here. And y'all hit him up. Gave you all the contact information. So if y'all need to know anything at all, he's your person. All right.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Str8 Outta Kemet podcast. I do trust that you all have enjoyed this episode. Before we go, I have to give a shout out to my girl, Sunshine Monet, aka Unique Monet. Her song is the song that you hear on the intro to Str8 Outta Kemet, and it is thebomb.com. Y'all go follow her. Y'all can follow her on Facebook at Sunshine Monet L on Facebook, Less Nobodies on YouTube, and Unique Monet on all streaming platforms.